Welcome to the Celebrity Gourmet Podcast, where we feature top bakery and specialty food entrepreneurs from around the world and share stories and tips on how to create a successful life in the baking world.
Hi, I'm Odette Danella, the host of Celebrity Gourmet Podcast, where I interview women in the bakery and specialty food industry to hear how they live creative lives and share their adventures in running a bakery or specialty food business. I want to encourage you to go back and check out our past episodes with Stephanie Kriebel of Oh My God Pretzels of Philadelphia, my cousin Brittany Desby of Delight Bakery in Seattle, Katie Pope, the founder and owner and a friend of Blue Star Donuts, Olga Sagan of Pierogi, and Patty Stobaugh of Patty Cakes in Arkansas. Today, I'm so excited to talk to Molly Ott from Corina Bakery. Corina's Bakery is in my town of Tacoma, Washington. And I am so excited just because Molly and I have known each other for over 10 years. Corina Bakery is the go-to place in Tacoma for bakery treats. It has been in business for 16 years and has been voted the best bakery in Southtown for multiple years in a row. Molly and her husband acquired the bakery from a couple who I had met when they first started the bakery. This couple worked for Magnolia Bakery in New York City and brought just such delicious products to our town. And that was back in 2008. So since then, Molly and her family has created this third place hangout. And everybody wants to go to Corina Bakery, have a treat, a scone, or then you have savories too, right?
We do. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Delicious coffees. So it's very, very, very cute. Today's episode, everyone, is brought to you by Celebrity Gourmet Ventures, Celebrity Cake Studio, and Dragonfly Cake. We're a family-owned and operated specialty cake bakery in Tacoma. And at Celebrity Gourmet, we've been making joy into all our artistically designed cakes and desserts for over 25 years. We are proud to work with a vibrant team of cake designers and bakers who will help you celebrate the sweet moments in your life. To learn more about how you can celebrate yourself or the ones you love, visit us at Celebrity Cake Studio or Dragonfly Cakes, or email us at info@celebritycakestudio.com. So thank you for that. Molly, I wanted to say thank you for being on this podcast. I'm so excited to talk to you. And I wanted everyone to know your story because you have had such an amazing journey in the bakery space. And, just tell everybody how you started and what's going on now.
Well, sure. Thank you so much for having me, Odette. It's a pleasure to talk to you and share my story. I had been a field executive for several different luxury brands, and it found me being away from home several nights a week, traveling all over the U.S. and Canada. And I think that the purchase of the bakery stems from my love of wanting to entertain, and I like food. And so I thought, why not parlay this love that I had for serving others into a business? So through a mutual friend who had been working at the bakery, which had only been open several months, I found out that the owners of the original Corina Bakery, as it was, had to transfer to another state and therefore put the business up for sale. And so at the time, wine and cigar bars were actually a big thing. And I thought, well, we'll buy the business, we'll turn it into a wine and cigar bar. But it turns out that the business model was doing well on its own. It had merit, worth keeping the business model the way that it was. So we decided to just start building upon the items that were available at that time. And it was in a little itty bitty space on 6th Avenue, probably no more than, I would say 800 square feet. and the bakery itself was the footprint of the retail shop, but it was 2 floors up with no elevator. So every 50-pound bag of sugar, every 50-pound bag of flour, every 3-tiered wedding cake had to be walked up and down those stairs for about 3 years. And it's kind of how it all began. It was, I'm not even sure how I got here, to be honest. It's been a long time, but it seems like it's gone by just in a heartbeat. So,
Well, your products are delicious. So I remember that little space because it opened at the bottom of the Grand Cinema, which is a local theater here in Tacoma. And you had to go down the stairs to go into the bakery. And it was tiny, tiny, tiny.
yeah, tiny, no dishwasher, just 2 little ovens, everything, just freestanding refrigerators, and yeah, very, very humble beginnings for sure.
Yes. But the best thing was the products were delicious. The products were so good. So, can tell us more about like how you transitioned from that little space to
Sure.
where you are.
Okay. Well, I think one of the big turning points for the bakery was when 2 spaces within the Merlino Art Center, which is where we're located, opened up at the same time. And there was an opportunity to conjoin those spaces and renegotiate a lease to move into those areas. And virtually, it would really, I think, triple the space that we had before. And it was very scary to do it, but I had FOMO at the time, fear of missing out. And I knew in my heart, in my head, that if I didn't take a chance and go for it, that I would regret it. And it turned out to be quite amazing how few people knew to turn the corner coming out of that theater on Fawcett Avenue and turning left on 6th. They didn't even know we were up there. But when we came down around the corner and moved right in next door to the Grand Cinema, it was like a whole new neighborhood, a whole new atmosphere, a whole new opportunity for the bakery. So that's kind of how we started. And again, with very minimal equipment, very archaic equipment. But from there, as we started to do well and become profitable, we took small steps to improve the surroundings, improve the equipment, reinvest in the business. Slowly but surely, it began gaining a following, and we just kept building upon that. And we knew that if we were honest and made a good quality, consistent product, that people would come back. And so we treated our customers the way, we all business owners like to be treated when we go out and, open our wallets in restaurants and in the community. So that's kind of our mantra, is we are here to serve others, and not only just the community, but I, as a business owner, wanted to be a servant to my employees, because I knew that if I made them feel that their job was just as important as mine, that they would be happy and therefore flourish. So my whole job was to nurture and just kind of bring this sort of family type feel to the business, as much as I know you do with your family.
Oh, I love that. I know. The thing about owning a bakery is that it elicits such warmth of family, and just like it is a place where you can really rest, even if it's busy. It's because it's a happy business. I mean, to come to a bakery is a happy kind of occasion. It's like, oh my God, look at all these treats and look at this beautiful stuff, right? And you know what? One of the reasons why I really appreciated you is because you and I met, and in our town, we can be considered competitors, because people can go to get cakes from you, or treats from you, or they can go to me. So usually when people do have occasions like weddings, etc., they can go to Celebrity Cake Studio or Corina Bakery. We're like the two top choices in our. But what I love about the bakery business is that it is a supportive industry and we help each other.
I agree. Absolutely. As I have often thought, it has been very nice to be able to have somebody who is like-minded and you can ask questions. Have you experienced this? How did you handle that? And that is something that you were kind enough to offer me help on in my early days, and I've never forgotten it. And you are a competitor, but you're also someone that is a confidence builder, and we can kind of play off each other and ask each other questions and commiserate if need be over different things that come up in the community over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's because, you know what? I do feel that we are just human beings to begin with, and we are just doing our best, manifest our dreams, and to do what we love. And that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's not necessary at the very end, to have connection with other people is the most important, whether or not, whether it's creating that environment within our businesses, like what you and I have in our bakeries, or just with the community. And what I love is that people love Corina Bakery because you do offer just that third space of drinking coffee and have a meeting, and it's beautiful.
Well, thank you very much. We've had our ups and downs. We've had our challenges, as I'm sure you did during COVID. And I know that you've also experienced challenges with the crime that's unfortunately a part of our reality today in our community. And, I think when those kinds of things happen to you, you can either be defeated or you can pick yourself up by your bootstraps and figure out now how I'm going to make this, I can't open my shop right now. How am I going to make, keep the name of our business alive and also provide rather products for the community who still needs something to look forward to when no one can come into the shop. So we figured it out, and we were able to keep paying our employees and just kind of made the little evolutionary changes as needed. I mean, we literally were going out on the sidewalk in the pouring down rain with umbrellas and iPads, taking orders and going inside, ringing them up and getting the orders bagged up and bringing them out to the sidewalk. And we did that for months during COVID, just to kind of keep it going. And we lived through a 3-day power outage one year. I remember that was fun. And so after I had come in and done the morning bake off, I have this whole cart full of pastries and coffee made, but there's no power. So I can't open my doors because the power had gone out. So everybody that walked up to the front door, I opened the front door and said, I'm sorry, you can't come in today, but here is your free pastry and coffee because I can't even sell it to you right now. But those kinds of things, when I think about it over the years, just crazy things that I don't think people realize can happen in a bakery. And I'm sure you have stories that have of things that you just can't make this stuff up. I always said, I need to be a writer for Saturday Night Live. We could have such good fodder for scripts.
Oh, I know. I think one of the things is like you have to love what you do more than anything, because the things that happen can be just so demoralizing. Just you and I both had our doors like jammed.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
So yeah, and I think that's what happens when you own a brick and mortar, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the bottom line is that I just love the feeling that I derive when I open a box to show someone their cake and they just go crazy and they're so happy. That's kind of the drive. And I'm sure you get that feeling too when a bride looks at their wedding cake and they're just elated. It's you've put the cherry on the sundae for their day, so to
Do you
speak.
decorate, Molly?
I have decorated, but I'll be honest, my forte is in general management, inventory management, and merchandising. Really, so I'm not by trade a baker or a decorator, but I know how things should look, and I
Yeah,
know
but you have that luxury eye.
the eye. Yeah.
What brand did you work for?
I worked for the Chanel Corporation, Bobby Brown Cosmetics, and then David Yurman Jewelry. So three Manhattan-based companies. So I got a taste of the finer things in life, and that doesn't really ever leave you. But I have to say that owning a bakery has been extremely rewarding, and it's been nice to have a team of people around me over the years that I can share these experiences with, and kind of, help them develop their own lives, their own careers along the way.
That's beautiful. Now, you had told me that you have any news for us? Like you want to
Yes, as of the 1st of January, I have turned over the key to my husband, Mike, and I have a son, Jason Ott, who has been apprenticing, so to speak, as my general manager for the last 4 years. So he's been learning all the bits and pieces of the business from soup to nuts. And I feel extremely confident that he's not only going to carry on the little legacy that we have built over the years, but I think he's going to take it to the next level and breathe new, vibrant energy into the bakery and take it to places that we're not even aware of yet. And he's got a great support system around him as well. The team is standing, and we're actually getting ready to have a big celebration next weekend. I'm really looking forward to thanking all of my staff for everything that they've done over the years. And we're kind of like a big family there. So
are you announcing your retirement to your team?
it has been announced. Everybody's aware of it. But I'm still they still see me walking in the door almost every day for one reason or another.
Nice. So what are you planning to do in your retirement?
What are we going to do? Well, we will probably do some traveling. I think the one thing that I've missed over the years, and if I could go back and say, I wish I would have done this a little bit differently, is to have been able to spend more time with my family. We have 5 grandchildren, and all of our adult children live in Tacoma. So between the 13, 14 of us that we have, I am really looking forward to being in everyone's day-to-day lives. Just, spending time with people. I have my mother as well that I'm looking forward to spending more time with. So just being part of the family and being able to go to a volleyball game, or going to someone's birthday party, or watching a football game on a Sunday. I mean, I've worked every weekend by choice for over a decade, because I do feel that in order to help ensure your success, you need to be present. I think Warren Buffett is the one that coined that phrase. Is if you want to be successful, you have got to be present. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to, is being with family now.
So what does presence mean to you? Like, what does that mean? Like you said, you're going to be going into like maybe babysitting?
Oh. Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, the calls have already started coming in. But when I say be present, I was really referring to my role as the owner of the bakery. I felt like it was important for me to be there, not just be by namesake only an owner. Now it's really funny because the first couple of days of not working or being so-called retired, it was a little bit depressing because you really don't know, okay, what's going to become of me. I'm not one of those people that sits around and does nothing. It's very hard for me to do nothing. But by the third day, it's like, wow, there's a lot. I can go do that. I can go do this now. I started thinking of all the things that I can actually do and commit to, and go to lunch with girls, and maybe go to a spa and things like that. So anyway, that's kind of where my head's at right now. Looking forward to that. Maybe having lunch with you.
We could go hang out together.
Actually, we could.
Well, you used to bring me scones a lot. I remember that. I still remember that. I'm like, oh my God, these are so good. Because I don't make any of those baked goods, right? I do cake. I only do cake. So, you were always so kind to do that. And we were supposed to meet up. Like, I remember your day off was on a Thursday. And I know it's
right. You got a good memory.
We've known each other for a long time, so that's the difference. Is it's like that, my family, my sister helps me run the business, right? So she does the delivery for our business, and I do the outside work, like doing all the other stuff that's outside of the bakery business. So I thought that's really cool that now you and I can hang out.
No doubt.
And so now, how did you choose Jason? Did he like express interest in it? Was he in the business?
He wasn't. My husband owned. He and his two brothers and his father actually owned a couple of businesses in the transmission industry, so automotive transmission industry. And through the course of events, my husband Mike and Jason had worked together at a business that had sold about 4 years ago. And so consequently, Jason, through the skills that he had in customer service, we thought it was going to be a great fit, a nice transition for him to come in and learn first the customer service side of it, which is a lot of talking on the phone and talking to customers and follow through, and a lot of details and inventory management. And so it was very smooth transition from one category of business to another. And he is an amazing chef himself and a great lover of food as well. And so it just all worked out, and he's enjoyed it, and he's done a great job at it. And I'm sure if you haven't met him yet, I think you may have met him, or at least seen him at the bakery.
I was stopping by to bring a friend from Becky Palermo, who has been on this podcast too. So my friend Becky from Creative Cakes in Chicago came to visit.
I remember, yes. He was out there that day. Yes, that's Jason.
Over to your place. I'm like, oh, you got to come see Corina Bakery stuff, because it's delicious. So we went over, and you guys were on the sidewalk.
Yes, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah. So yeah, Becky was my third or fourth guest on this podcast.
All right.
Yeah, we're just making a women-owned bakery posse over here. Well, now I have one more question before we end this podcast. If you were to talk to your younger self, like, what would you talk?
Well, I would say, as it relates specifically to the bakery, I would say, number one, location, which we have a great location, but buy your own building and design it from the back end forward. That is one thing that I wish that I'd had the foresight to do. And I know that that's something that you have been able to accomplish. And I know that you're probably just like, oh yeah, this is where it's at, having your own building. So that is definitely, and listen, also, if something isn't working, don't keep doing it, switch gears, figure out a way to make it better, embrace, things that aren't working for you and turn it around. And just know that there's always going to be someone that you aren't going to 100% please, but it's okay. And it's all about how you handle the negative situations, though they may be few and far between, we hope. How you address it is the most important thing. And don't take things so personally. If something goes sideways, which it does, and I tell my employees this all the time, everybody makes mistakes, myself included, just learn from it, and figure out how not to do it again. I will say that some of the mistakes that we've made over the years have actually turned out to be, have silver linings and have made us come up with product innovations that we never thought could be possible. So.
Like what? Give me an example.
I knew you were going to ask me that. Oh, I think, we're an American style bakery with some French influences. So we don't profess to be an all French bakery. The beauty of what we do is that because we're a single entity, we can do whatever we want, whenever we want to. So maybe we have made a product, a muffin that just didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. Well, we can turn that into another product if we want to, and thereby curb waste. I think that's one of the best things that we have been able to accomplish. If you have a cake lay that cracked and you need to rebake it, well, bake cake balls or a parfait, some other thing. Don't waste it. Turn it into, some other delicious delight.
Well, I had a podcast guest, and on this note, she creates, takes all the leftovers from the day and puts it all in the mixer and calls it Washington pie.
Yep, I think it's awesome.
Crust, and then makes it a pie and sells it. I thought that was brilliant. I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's great.
I was like, oh my God, that's great. Well, this is so awesome. Thank you so much for being on this podcast and having this chit chat with me. It's like me and you having coffee.
It is. It's great. And again, I've said it before, but you really are a unique individual that has such a kind and open heart and a very smart businesswoman. And I'm really lucky to call you a friend and have been honored to have been on this podcast with you.
I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
See you soon. And
okay.
Thank you for being such a great friend.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Celebrity Gourmet Podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.